Yes, I'm Maryann Pasalich. Taught music for 55 years. I was born in Maryland, and my parents had money. I was well taken care of growing up. Money was no issue with my father. He owned a coal business. My mother was a mentally ill person, and my brother also. And my dad, all of a sudden, when I was getting ready to graduate, decided he could not live with mother anymore, so he left her after 21 years. And he left me with my mother and my brother. And to be mentally ill was a stigma in those days. And I wasn't allowed to speak to my cousins because they didn't want their friends to know that I was part of the family. And my dad left me there with my mother and my brother, and a few dollars. And I had no family wanted me, and my brother took off and left me there. And I understood he went to Trenton, New Jersey to work at the steel mills because my uncle had been working there. And my mother's sister put her in a mental hospital because they wanted to put her out of the way. And now I was there alone. So I was a stubborn young lady. I decided I'm not going to take this abuse. I had some antique that was all that left of all of my mother's belongings. Her family just came in and took, sold, whatever, even the property where my tennis court was at. And then I got the money, got on the bus, and went to Trenton, New Jersey. I didn't even know where my brother was at. I was only 14, going on 15. And I had no place to go, big city, because I just came from a little country town. So I sat there, and here I am counting my money, and I had $5 in a big city. And I started to cry, because then it became real to me what I had done. And this little old lady felt sorry for me and asked me what the problem was, and I told her. So she took me to her home and allowed me to stay there overnight. Then I was starting to walk the streets, trying to find food, because now my mother had escaped from the mental hospital, and she came to New Jersey, so I had to find a place for her. I was on the streets, going to different restaurants, ordering hot water, putting ketchup, salt and pepper, and that was my soup. And I basically was not around a community of homeless people because I refused to be in that position. I would pick up odd jobs to feed my mother, and I had been offered very, very lucrative jobs, but as call girls, that's what they do to young people that are out on the streets. You can get exposed to drugs. They called them call girls. I didn't even know what that was when I was young. And I would not do that. I worked at Fairless U.S. Steel, which you had to wear steel-toed shoes. You had to take inner tube. An inner tube was inside a tire. You may not even know now because they don't use them. Around your hands for protection for the metal. And you had to wrap your waist with it. And I worked there for 2 years. And you had to do a 3-swing shift from morning till 4 o'clock, and then from midnight till 8 in the morning, and then 3 to 12. My body just couldn't take that very much longer. But I was paid top wages so I could get off of the streets and take care of my mother. So I guess what I'm saying is being young, and if you ever had a situation like that, or an older person, not necessarily just young, but if you have the mental attitude you're not going to let this get you down. You can crawl yourself out of any situation. I went to night school. I went to the USO. That was a service place for military men to eat and dance. And I'd go in the basement. They had an old piano, and the hostess allowed me to go down there and study my music, practice, and that's what I did almost every night. So I had a goal. I set myself a goal. So I got through it all, but none of them wanted to help me. And that's okay now. I look back, it made me a strong individual. And that's what homeless people should think. I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to be a better person for it. And they can be in a position to help others, which I did. I helped out many, many young people growing up and tried to get them off the streets. So, you see, it's all up to you as an individual. You hear so many young people and old people say, oh, it's because the way I was brought up. I didn't have a chance. I was brought up in the ghetto. I was brought up by alcoholics. I didn't have a good life. I had a good life, but then I had nothing, which I think now sometimes is worse. I didn't know what it was like not to have food on the table, and then it was put in front of me. So all I'm trying to get at is just look inside what you have to offer and be more giving to other people, and make a goal that you're not going to be homeless.